Alexandra Botyuk, real estate salesperson, talking today about new versus resale condos. Thank you, George, and please let me know, in your opinion, what would you buy for yourself? Would that be a pre-construction condo or an established building already?
I would buy established.
May I ask you why?
Why? Because I can see it, I can feel it, I can check it, I can inspect it, I know what I'm buying. When you buy pre-construction, you buy a promise basically from the builder. Well, promise is great, and maybe it's established builder, but still, even the best builders I saw, they always have deficiencies. You can't, because building a property, property always tied with the land, and it's impossible to construct something, build something without deficiencies. And even the best builders, we're talking about, for example, let's take an average high-rise building, about 300 units. It's normal, you'll be surprised, it's normal to have about from 300 to 1,000 deficiencies in this building. No matter what, no matter how good is the builder, an experienced engineer who is specializing on performance audits will go inside and they will find about 1,000 deficiencies. Now, you're buying a unit, and you'll ask me, oh, I'm buying a unit, I'm not buying common elements. I don't care if chiller has deficiencies. First of all, you should be aware that it will impact you sooner or later. If a builder, for example, installed deficient piping system that taken from China and it didn't solder it well, and all of a sudden you have complete failure of all the piping system, plumbing system in the building, it will impact your bottom line in terms of maintenance fees.
True, and in new pre-construction condos, usually maintenance fees are predefined way ahead, and when we take a condo, it's not much. But then all of a sudden, in a year or two, it is going up by $100 even more.
Yes, and that's because, first of all, because builders are in a very tough competition too to sell their units. And this competition dictates them to provide the lowest numbers of maintenance fees in the market, because
for it to be attractive.
To be attractive. Otherwise, the unit will be not marketable for the builder if maintenance fees are high or real fees.
Not even high, real.
No, real. Okay. I saw, for example, recently we took over a building under management. It's 340 units building, and it's only 12 hours contract for and it's first year, 12 hours contract for security company, front desk. And it's not 24/7. So this is how they, and of course if you charge 12 hours instead of 24 hours, you have savings about what, $80,000 to $90,000 in maintenance fees. And this is just one small example how they keep the fees down.
Keep the fees down.
And what happens when management companies gets in, which is not a builder's company, which is hired by the newly elected board of directors, the first thing we bring forward is, look, we can't operate this building as it should be with 12 hours security. We have to increase this for 24 hours, and this is a good example how the fees
increase right away.
Also, the builder remember, the builder provides only minimum requirements in terms of reserve fund. Okay, when we bring an engineer does who specializes in reserve funds studies, they do their study of reserve fund and they come up with different numbers. And management company and the board has no other option but increase the fees to top up the reserve fund. And this is how the fees are getting real.
So we can see a significant jump after first year?
Yes. No, like I said, it's
usually 1 to 2 years.
After the first year, because first year, remember, first year is done by, the budget is done for registration. And this is what your client receives in the disclosure statement. In the disclosure statement, this is basically the paper that discloses the major information about the pre-construction and new building. And the budget, the first year budget, is a part of a disclosure statement. And in this budget, like I said, are minimum numbers, okay? And it's more for marketing, not for real life of your condo.
But besides the fees, as far as I understand, there are more to it, because a lot of people are buying a new condo based on the blueprints of the floor plan. And when you walk into the condo unit, it is totally different. Like, it feels different. You don't even imagine it, right? Unless you see thousands of them and you realize what the floor plan can look like. And then with condos going smaller every time, the square footage gets so tiny, then
yeah, this is what I just mentioned. That's why I would buy established condo.
That's a huge difference.
Existing because when you walk into the unit, you exactly see what you're getting. You see what's the size of the balcony. You see the layout. But again, it's not only about the layout of the unit that you're buying.
Yes.
Remember, we're talking about also common elements. We're talking about amenities that you would like. And now you can see also not only this. You can see how good is management company, how well is your building, your future property is managed, and you can establish this easily by walking the property.
Can you tell me, do you see a price increase or decrease based on how the building is run? The price of the condo units going up or going down on the market versus other similar condos when the building is run properly or when the building is not run properly by
Absolutely. Management company makes greater impact on the price value of a unit. I saw buildings that are poorly run, and
so
we have the buildings that are owing to banks huge money. Like it's not a lot, but there are few buildings that owe millions of dollars to the banks, and they are struggling to pay utility bills.
So that's a key difference between buying a new building when you don't know who will take over the building.
Yes.
And buying a resale. Resale, you can look through financials and you can at least determine.
You determine many things. That's why you receive status certificate. You receive a reserve fund study. You receive other documents, the declaration, and you can review those documents and understand what you're buying into. Okay, and also you can walk the property, you can see how rules are enforced. Again, very important, rule enforcement. If you see that, for example, bikes or other stuff on the balconies or balconies turned into storage place, then you understand that you're buying a second-rate building where rules are enforced, and you believe me, you don't want to go in there.
And buying new, you have no idea figuring out how it will look like in a year or two, right?
Absolutely.
And
again, it's still the industry still is. We have very high standards in the industry, and absolutely 99.9% new buildings, they're managed by professional companies, and manager on site is professional, and everything is perfect. But still, there could be some exceptions from the rules.
when is the builder gives up the responsibility for the building? At what point? So builder is responsible to a number of certain repairs, or if a new owner moves in under the occupancy time and finds a lot of different defects in the condo. So at what time the property moves from the builder's point to the owner completely? Is it at the point of registration?
When we talk about property, we are talking about two things. One thing is when this thing, your question applies to the unit owner. This is one thing, and we have pre-delivery inspection. Then we have 1 month period, and we have 12 months where you can report your deficiencies to Terrian.
Yeah.
Okay, so and 12 months, by the way, often missed. And this is very important for every owner to report deficiencies, if any, to Terrian. But I understand that you also ask about condominium common elements of the building. Again, I mentioned about that no matter how good is the builder, normally we do have deficiencies anywhere from 200-300 to up to 1,000 deficiencies in a building. And again, we have 1 year term, 2-year term, and 7 years under Terion, and management company has certain process and procedures to follow to take care of those things.
My question is more about the maintenance fees, because until the point that the builder is responsible for repairs, I understand that's the builder's out-of-the-pocket money that they have to either get their trade people to remedy the deficiencies that they have hired. And then after the point when builder moves the building into the owner's names and eventually the builder moves out of the picture, that will fall onto the maintenance fees, right?
Yes. So the key point is registration of a condominium. Okay. Before registration, it's basically everything
Builder's responsibility
upon the builder. And builder collects occupancy fees. It's practically rentals. It's practically, before registration, you're not owning the unit because it's not registered. It's still in the name of the builder. Mm-hmm. And you're effectively your renter. Okay? So all the picture changes completely once this is a good news. Okay? You got a call, manager gets a call, our building is registered. Now it's completely different. Now it's good news for owners because they become the owner of the, and now they are able to pay maintenance fees. Then the very important turning point for each new condo is a turnover meeting. It's the reason why it's called turnover. It means that you're turning over basically corporation from the builder's responsibility to a newly elected board of directors.
And that usually happens after the registration.
Yes.
So first we have occupancy date on the new building,
Yes.
which means we can already move in and live there, but we're paying rent.
But you're basically a renter.
You're paying rent
and
to the builder.
And you basically have no rights, okay, as owners. Once the building is registered and the building is turned over, then at first you start exercising your right as a unit owner, and you come to this turnover meeting and elect your board of directors.
Okay, and the property management company goes from which time, which period of time, the starting point when the property management company comes into play?
It depends upon the builder. Normally builder once the building is occupied, starting occupancy, they would like to get
the security
their property
people, the cleaning,
management company into the property. But please remember there are two types of, so to speak, property management company. One property management company is invited by the builder, and they serve the best interest of the builder. While when the new board of directors elected, the things it's a change game. The game is changed, and you may be interested. This new board of directors may be interested to invite a new management company which is not associated with the builder. It's very important. New board has to remember that they have this right under Condominium Act that they have the right to cancel any contract within the first 12 months
of the election
after turnover meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Very important. So because sometimes you don't like the contracts that you inherited from the builder, like cleaning contract, security contract, management contract. So all this can be changed with 60 days notice, no matter what. Even if the contract says, okay, if you terminate the cleaning contract, you owe us $1 million. No, Condominium Act says clearly 60 days, and you can cancel any contract. There's some small exceptions to this, but in general it works very well.
Thank you, George. It was very informative interview, and I hope a lot of my future buyers, clients will be able to get a lot of useful data for their proper choice of the condominium and better understanding as to what they need to look for when going into condos. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Alexandra, and good luck with your future clients.
Thank you.